And here is my 200 points of Orks for my little kill team. So very simply, over here on the right we have a knob squad. So we've got 3 knobs there, and they're all going to be my specialists. So the chap in the middle with his orange hair, he's got Hammer of Wrath. The one with the metal face over here, he has got some Machine Saboteur, which basically lets him roll on a table when he hits a vehicle instead of doing a normal penetration. And then over here we have this last one with the twin link shooter, who's going to have Infiltrate. So hopefully I can pop him up behind the enemy for a bit of a laugh. And on the left here we have the main squad of boys, so it's just a 15-man boy squad, and upgraded to have 1 big shooter, and then the boss knob has a power claw. So quite a lot of bodies there. If you've seen my previous one where I've taken the 7 knobs, I hope this worked a little bit better now that I was sort of thinking about how to properly take a kill team. So I hope this will perform well, and I'll see you in the game. And here is Jamie's 200 points of Iron Warriors I've chosen for our kill team today. What were you, Jay?
Well, I've got Rhino here,
yeah,
and obviously he's all chosen. This is my leader.
Yeah.
He's got
Zealot, I think, yeah, right on the leader table.
This guy's got Feel No Pain.
Yep.
Expert Shot. And Merciless Blow.
Merciless Blow. So that's the 200 points there. We'll now see how it gets on against my Orks. Right, it's Tom for BlackToad here. I'm in here with Jamie. Say hi, Jamie.
Hello.
And he has brought his Chaos along with Iron Warriors down here, and we're just about to start a game of kill team. We're doing the mission called Headhunter. Essentially, you only get victory points for, well, one's for primary objective anyway, for killing the specialist and the leader. So in my case, we've got 1 Ork knob here, boss knob here as my leader. We get 3 points for him, and another Ork knob here, and my infiltrator down here. And for Jamie, I won't go through him because I think we've got a bit muddled up, but I know there's 2 in the Rhino, isn't there?
And 2 back here.
And 2 back there. So they're all the victory points scoring there. We did roll for night fighting, which is on. Also, the deployment was table quarters, so my quarter was over here and Jamie was over here. So we'll now see if Jamie sees initiative, because I'm going first moment unless he sees it, which he does, which is the 2nd time in a kill team, I must admit. So we'll now move on to Chaos turn 1. Okay, so Chaos turn 1, as you can see here, almost all the Chaos forces have moved up down the road here. However, 1 sneaky specialist has gone around there to possibly have a look at mine, hiding just around the corner over there. So we'll now move on to the shooting phase. Okay, so turn 1 shooting for the Chaos, and over here, as you can see, I was bringing to shot, the dice is there, signifying my knob has lost 1 wound from the shooting of this specialist over here. So you're a specialist on specialist action. Unfortunately, I can't charge him because I infiltrated, but we'll see what happens in my turn in a minute. Other shooting results over here was a few rounds came in from this squad over here into a couple of the boys over here. We lost 1 boy down here and 1 in here, so we're down 2 at the moment and 1 wound on the knob. So that's Chaos turn 1. So now we'll move over to Orks turn 1. Okay, so turn 1 for Orks and the movement phase. All these boys moved up along with the boss knob here, who's the leader. Along with all these here who moved up down the road as well. A lot of difficult terrain moves, unfortunately, but that's the nature of this board, which makes it a bit more fun. So these have all moved around, a couple of bad rolls, but they've all made a bit of progress. So, and then finally over here, this Ork knob just moved up a bit closer so he can shoot back at his aggressor. So we'll now move on to the Ork shooting phase, and the run phase probably as well, which may be happening, and we'll see what goes on. It's okay, Orks shooting turn 1, and all of the boys and the knobs have all done a run move that could, because nothing was really in range for shooting. So as you can see, the horde has moved up over here. The only bit of shooting was this knob here took a shot at the specialist, unfortunately missing with his twin-linked shooter. Can't charge us down because he infiltrated, so now we'll move on to the assault phase. I can probably get a couple of assaults off with one of the guys who didn't charge, and we'll just see what happens. Okay, so during the Ork assault phase, this Ork actually managed to survive Overwatch by rolling a 6 on his cover save, which is amazing. Got into combat and managed to kill his Marine, which is over here now. So not bad for the Ork. So I think I've got 2 down, Jamie's down 1, so we'll now move on to turn 2 for Chaos. Okay, turn 2 Chaos. As you can see, the Iron Warrior chosen have decided to surround this poor Ork boy, who I suspect his days are numbered. And then over here, this specialist has decided to come and confront the Ork Nob over here. It's probably quite sensible. So now I'm going to move on to the shooting phase and see how many Orks pile up in this particular shooting phase. Okay, so Chaos turn 2 shooting, and as you can see here, the poor boy met his doom to a bolt pistol, I think it was in the end. So he tried to go to ground, but unfortunately it saved. However, the more miraculous story is the melter gun that shot over at the Ork Nob over here, hit, but rolled a 1 on wounding, so he's feeling very lucky, and he managed to survive 1 bolt around as well. I decided not to go to ground because I actually want to charge them. Moving on over here, another lucky escape for this Ork Nob over here. Unfortunately, when rolling to wound, rolled 2-3, so he couldn't quite get through his toughness, sadly. So there may be an ensuing combat there, which could be quite interesting. So we'll now move on to the assault phase for the. Have you not got anything to do, Joe? No.
No, assault.
No. So we'll actually move on to Orks turn 2. Okay, so Orks turn 2 movement. I have declared my Waah as well, so we'll be doing some running and charging, hopefully. Other than that, we just had these guys move around here. Lots of move through covered rolls over there, quite good ones, so they're all at half the distance now. And this little squadron's moved up here. And then over here, a few more guys moved up to the next wall that they can get to. Likewise, this boy here has moved up, and also around here, he's moved up to confront the specialist there, so there's going to hopefully be a combat there if he can survive Overwatch. So we'll now move on to the shooting phase for Orks and see what drops. Okay, Orks turn 2 shooting phase. So as probably you knew, there's going to be a lot of running because with the Waaagh I'm going to get a nice charge on them. So unfortunately, this little squad here, all 3 of them, rolled 1s on their charges. On their runs rather. So not very good. I spaced out this guy over here and the 2 boys there to give the room for these people to charge through here. So they've all run up, as you can see. Some very bad run moves here. Got 1 inch on all of them as well, so not very good. And this boy managed to get up at 6 inches, so that's good. We'll now move on to the assault phase. So turn 2 Orks assault phase, and as you can see over here, my poor specialist has bit the dust to the Marines' attacks. Didn't even get to hit back, unfortunately. So that is 1 victory point over Jamie on top of his first blood kill. And then over here, it was okay. I mean, I think I got 1. Did I get 1 in the end? No, I didn't even get 1 in the end. I got a lot of wounds, but a lot of saves. The only good thing was my leader managed to take 2 hull points off the Rhino and also immobilise it. Sadly, though, the 2 people inside passed their leadership for shooting next phase, so only the vehicle itself is snap shooting. So that is that. Obviously, the combats here are ongoing. So we'll now move on to Chaos turn 3. Okay, so turn 3 for Chaos, and over here we have one of the specialists moving here to keep his options open, because obviously there's probably going to be a fire on the old warboss there. I'm calling him a warboss for this game, even though he's not technically, he is my leader. Then over here, this specialist has started to work his way through the ruins to probably help mop up some of the boys over here if he can. So we'll now move on to the shooting phase for Chaos and see how that goes. Okay, turn 3 for Chaos, and as you can see here, I'm missing another Ork boy. Some good shooting from the specialist over here, finished him off, and then sadly over here, although he was living on borrowed time, I think, after the luck that was had in the shooting phase there. So first of all, the melter shot down at my boss knob and managed to roll a 1 on wounding again, so not very good luck. However, the leader then followed up with a nice rapid fire shot and managed to kill him. So unfortunately, that's my lead down, so that's 3 points to Jamie's team. So we'll now move on to the assault phase and see what happens. So Chaos turn 3 assault, and sadly a couple more boys down now in the knob. So over here, lost my specialist to the combat that was going on, and over here the other Ork boy that was in combat managed to die as well. So we're now moving on to Orks turn 3, and we're going to see if this little horde here can maybe even up the numbers a bit, because I think I'm 1 away from having a break test as well, so it's getting a bit dicey now. So we'll now see what happens. Okay, so turn 3 Orks movement, and as you can see here, all the boys have piled on forwards to try and get into assault range to try and inflict some more casualties. All these boys move through with a difficult terrain move, a couple of bad rolls, but nothing too terrible, but a couple of them will not be able to charge this turn. So we'll now move into the shooting phase and see if we do some running or possibly some shooting. And here we are in the Orks shooting phase. Some slugger shots fired into this chap here, and this Chaos Chosen over here. Unfortunately, we did a couple of wounds, but it was all saved, so no casualties. The Knob and one of the boys back here run up 5 and 6 inches apiece just to get them a bit closer because they can't assault anyway. And same with this guy here who got a 2-inch run. So we'll now move on to the assault phase and see if we can possibly take a couple of the Chaos Chosen out. It was. So anyway, Orks turn 3 assault, and we managed to kill 1 Marine, not a specialist unfortunately, which is the one that was just hiding behind the tank over here. Orks have all spaced out a bit, trying to surround the Rhino, maybe tempt them to come out a bit, we'll see. Other than that, no other combat to go. We'll now move on to Chaos turn 4. Okay, Chaos turn 4 movement, and this specialist has moved up towards this Ork Knob here, and this specialist has moved out from covering just to come and continue his killing tally over in this area. So we'll now move on to the shooting phase and see what happens. Okay, so turn 4 Chaos shooting. I lost 1 Ork boy in the end, I think, which was from the shooting from this specialist again. So he's got a nice kill tally now. Definitely a candidate for man of the match, I have a suspicion. So now we'll move on into the assault phase. Oh, actually, before we go on, just to let you know, the melter gun did take yet another shot, and this time he failed to hit. So 3 turns with nothing, unfortunately, which is very unlucky. But as with these things, sometimes happens a wee bit amusing as well. And actually, the leader also double snake-eyed on the shooting as well. But I have a suspicion the Orks are in a bit of trouble now. But we'll see how the assault phase goes, and then we'll move on to the Chaos assault phase. Okay, so turn 4 Chaos Assault, and sadly my last specialist has now died to this murderous little Chosen here. He's managed to get a couple of them, and the Warlord as well, unfortunately. So, other than that, my guy was in base contact with the Rhino, but unfortunately not high enough strength to penetrate now because he didn't want to charge, and this was a stalemate combat here. So, we'll now move on to Orks turn 4 and see what happens. So Orks turn 4 movement and break test, unfortunately, so that has really hurt me a lot. I've lost, I think, 3 in that particular break test. So Jamie scores another point for getting break test, and I have lost 3 Ork boys. So we're down to this little bundle in the middle here. Try and get them to combat as quickly as possible and see if they can at least get a specialist who's a little bit more respectable score, because it's really terrible mode. So we'll now move on to my shooting phase and see how we do. Okay, and sadly I didn't get any wounds with my shooting, so we'll just move on to the assault phase and see if we can get into combat and maybe get 1 specialist down. So at the end of turn 4 there, for me, unfortunately, as you can see, there is nothing left of my on table. I have lost everything to horrible combat, which is this guy here definitely killed quite a few, and his shooting was beautiful. So anyway, it was a good game. I think you scored 9 in the end, Jay, to my nothing, unfortunately, because I didn't even get anything in the end. So because all the specialists are alive, and I might have to go back to the drawing board on that force thing. I think I might need some bikes and a truck or something. I think just to sort of even that out, and we'll see how we go. But I think it was a good game, Jay. Enjoy yourself.
That was a really good game. I thought you had me.
Yeah, I must admit, I was a bit more confident by turn 2. Then 3, it just started going downhill terribly. I mean, this chap at the back here really stuck it to me with the bolter, I think. Yeah. And then his murderous blow on him was very good. But thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be doing a few more of these kill team games, so we'll see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.